Einat Wilf served in the Israeli Knesset and was a member of the Foreign Affairs and Defense Committee. And I asked her earlier whether an Israeli military invasion of Gaza was at this point inevitable.
Absolutely not. There's no such guarantee. Israel has made it clear that it has no desire to have a ground offensive. It will do so if necessary, if forced to do so. But there's no desire on behalf of Israel or the Israeli government to escalate the situation. It's been very clear from the beginning that the government and the military, they've been reluctant to enter into this operation, but seeing that the rockets have been reaching Israel's main cities, living has become impossible around many towns. The people basically made it clear to the government that they expect action, they expect effective action, and what they want is the restoration of calm as soon as possible.
So what needs to happen to force Israel to launch a ground offensive? What is the criteria that must be met for Israel to decide it is time to send in troops?
We're hoping, actually, that the direction will be precisely the opposite, that Hamas will de-escalate, that they will stop shelling our cities. Now they are going as north as nearly Haifa. They are shelling civilians. It is without any targeting, just anything that can cause any damage. And even today, the President of Israel, the Prime Minister, sent a clear message that as soon as Hamas stops barraging our cities, then Israel will not launch any ground offensive and the calm will be restored.
But the concern, obviously, is that women and children in the Gaza Strip are dying. You say the Palestinians are attacking civilians, but the argument is that Israelis are doing the same thing.
Absolutely not. Israel never, ever attacks civilians intentionally. It takes the greatest care and the measures that are not being taken by any military in the world to forewarn civilians of attacks on military places. The problem, of course, is that Hamas launches its operations from within civilian areas, from within neighborhoods, from within schools. People are used as human shields. It has even been admitted to by Hamas. Israel lets people know, even endangering its citizens in the process, that it plans to attack military installations. And sometimes civilians go to that place in order to try to prevent the attack, knowing that Israel does not attack civilians and tries to avoid it as much as possible. No military in the world has ever taken the kind of measures that the Israeli Defense Forces are taking to prevent attacks to civilians. And Hamas is doing everything possible to try to get civilians hurt in the process, both its own and Israeli civilians during its own attacks.
I know you feel the answer is for Hamas to quit firing rockets. It seems obvious to a lot of people, but is there not something that can be done on the Israeli side, something more than what's already happening, to try to somehow ease tensions?
For days, Israel did nothing while rockets were being hauled at our citizens. And Israel kept on sending messages saying, we do not want to start an operation. Please restore the calm. And the problem is that these good intentions, sadly in our region, were interpreted as weakness. And as a result, forced us to get to a point where we are at least trying to prevent more attacks on our civilians.
Einat Wilf, former member of the Israeli Knesset, I really appreciate your time tonight. Thank you.
Thank you.